Hello, callers, and welcome back to Viva Barca. Welcome to another interesting episode where we are going to be discussing on some interesting update. We start with Franck Kessie as the Barca midfielder's agent have come out and dismissed claims of player agreeing to leave Barca. He calls it fake news. We are going to be discussing on that as we progress. Then secondly, talking about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, as it has been reported that the Chelsea striker has two offers from Saudi Arabia, but he is waiting for an approach from FC Barcelona. We are also going to be discussing on that. So guys, as we get right into the full stories, please do ensure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. As Barcelona look to start their operation in the transfer market, there are several players who could be offloaded as part of the club's bid to reduce their salary mass in the squad. One of the players in contention to leave Camp Nou is Franck Kessie. The Ivorian has been recently linked with a move away from the club, with reports claiming that the player has already given the club the green light to leave. However, Franck Kessie's agent has come out strongly against those recent rumors, branding them as fake news. This has been reported by Fabrizio Romano, who suggests the player's stance remains the same and has not changed. That means Franck Kessie has no desire to leave Camp Nou anytime soon and wants to keep fighting for his place in the first team next season. Franck Kessie was close to leaving Camp Nou during the January transfer window, but the player did not want to leave and wanted to continue at Barca, despite failing to find prominence in the first team during the first half of the season. The decision paid off for both parties, however, as Franck Kessie played a crucial role in helping Barcelona fill in for the injured midfield duo Frenkie de Jong and Pedri. But with Barcelona in a financial rut, they are open to sanctioning the sale of Franck Kessie, knowing it could help them not only reduce the salary mass, but bring in fresh revenue. The player though appears to have no intention to leave the club just yet. Barcelona therefore have the task cut out as they look to convince the Ivorian to depart ahead of the new season. A swap deal involving Franck Kessie and Marcelo Brozovic was proposed recently, but whether or not it advances remains to be seen. Another big twist in Franck Kessie's future, as his agent have come out to address the rumors that have been making a lot of headlines today morning about Franck Kessie's future, that he have accepted to leave, and his agent said there is nothing like that, nothing of that sort have happened, that Franck Kessie still wants to fight for his place at Barca. We know Barcelona have not yet outrightly say this player will leave. Nobody have been convinced or nobody have been finalized as a player who is bound to be exited. Even the Ansu Fati, the Ferran Torres and everything like that, those players, nothing have been decided. Those are still mere speculations. But of course, when we look at the fact that some players' season have not been good, you would expect Xavi and Laporta to come to a conclusion to sell, knowing fully well that player sales will be very important for Barca to make a good transfer window. That is to buy players that they need to strengthen the squad. Player sales must take place. They can't run away from that unless they want to have a dreadful season, which I believe Barca don't want that. Of course, Franck Kessie have been one of those players that have been strongly rumored with an exit, or let me say a sale. And when the reports came out earlier today morning that he wants to leave, or he have accepted that he will leave, it doesn't come as a surprise to many because he have been linked with many clubs in the past. But now that those rumors are proved to be false by Franck Kessie's own agent, it means that there is still a lot to be speculated. No player have already said he will leave the club unless they come to an understanding with the board and see that it is quite necessary to do so. Franck Kessie have not had the best of seasons. Of course, fighting for his place has not been easy. The likes of Pedri, Gavi, Busquets, Frenkie de Jong have been way above him in the pecking order in Xavi's plans, and it has not been easy for Franck Kessie to have game time regularly. The only time that you can see Franck Kessie having regular game time is when there are injuries. Like as I earlier said, when Pedri was out and also when Frankie de Jong was out injured, we saw Franck Kessie stepping up his game, and I think he had a good time playing for Barca in that period when there was injuries for Frankie de Jong and also when there was injuries for Pedri. And you can see that he's not a bad player, neither everything. I think Xavi does not really see him as that player that fit into his plans or into his tactics. But I think Franck Kessie, is a good player, but maybe the coach of Barca now does not see him as suitable for his plans. It happens. It's not like he's a bad guy, but he understands football very well. Of course, if a guy who have been one of the key players in AC Milan winning a Scudetto, it means that he has a lot. But unfortunately, his future still remains uncertain at this point. Then on to the final story of discussion. Robert Lewandowski has been phenomenal for Barcelona in his first season in Spain. The Polish striker completed the season as top scorer in La Liga and walked away with the prestigious Pichichi Award with 23 goals to his name. The former Bayern Munich man will continue to serve as Xavi Hernandez's preferred number 9 next season. However, the Catalans wish to maintain an able backup for the striker, keeping in mind the struggle they faced last season in his absence. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang continues to be an option for the club on that front. According to a report from Fabrizio Romano via Sport, the Gabonese striker deeply desires a return to Catalonia and is holding off tempting offers for the same. The Chelsea forward has lucrative proposals on the table from Al Ahly and Al Shabab in Saudi Arabia, but is keeping them on hold as he prefers to stay in Europe. Barcelona is his number one choice, but he knows has a good offer from Inter Milan worth considering. The offices in Catalonia see Aubameyang's acquisition with good eyes, but prioritize the arrival of young replacement. Vitor Roque is top name on the list of Barca, but the Gabonese international appears to be their plan B. Chelsea have placed Aubameyang on the transfer market and hope to recoup some of the money they spent on his signing. However, their primary focus is to take a salary off the books, and a recent transfer cannot be ruled out. One can expect the Middle East-based clubs to come back with more aggressive offers in the coming weeks to lure the player to Saudi Arabia, of course, as they usually do. Of course, Aubameyang is still frustrating in Chelsea. Of course, the club have put him on transfer market and they want him to go, but with a price. But I don't know exactly how much they are asking for. But Barca have been showing interest in him, but nothing has been said as of any recent report. But the player have kept those other offers in the hold, hoping that Barca will come back to show interest.